Sara was a 30-year-old woman who lived in a quiet town in Texas. She worked in a small office as a secretary and lived a calm, simple life. Every morning she woke up early, made coffee, and prepared breakfast for her husband, David. Their mornings were soft and warm, filled with small talks and gentle smiles. Sara believed her life was stable and safe. She trusted David completely. David was a kind and hardworking man, a manager in a local company. He was charming and caring. In the early years of their marriage, they were happy together. They spent evenings watching movies, went out for long walks, and sometimes stayed up late just talking about dreams and the future. Sara always thought they would grow old together. But life doesn't always stay the same. Slowly, small things began to change. David started coming home late. He looked tired and distracted. His phone was always with him, and he checked it again and again. Sara noticed, but didn't want to believe anything bad. She told herself, maybe work is hard these days, maybe he needs space. But deep inside, a strange fear started to grow. One evening Sara was sitting on the couch watching television when David went to another room to answer a call. His voice was quiet and soft, not the usual tone he used for work. Sara's heart began to beat fast. When he returned, she tried to smile and asked gently, "Who was that?" David said quickly, "Just a friend from work," and changed the topic. Sara wanted to believe him, but her heart didn't agree. Days passed, and David's behavior became more distant. He stayed out late, and when he was home, his mind seemed somewhere else. Sara tried to reach him, to talk, to laugh like before, but the space between them kept growing. She started feeling lonely even when he was sitting next to her. One night, when David was taking a shower, his phone buzzed on the table. Sara stared at it. She didn't want to look. She told herself, "Trust him, don't check." But her hands moved on their own. She opened the screen and saw a message. It said, "I miss you already. Last night was amazing." Her whole body froze. She couldn't breathe. Her heart felt like it had stopped beating. Tears filled her eyes. She dropped the phone and sat on the bed in silence. When David came out of the bathroom, she was still sitting there holding the phone. Her eyes were full of tears. "David," she whispered. "Who is she?" He stopped. For a moment he said nothing. Then he sat beside her and said in a low voice, "Sara, I'm sorry." That was all. Just those 2 words. But those words destroyed her completely. That night she cried until her body had no strength left. She asked herself over and over, why did he do this? Was I not enough? Did he ever really love me? In the days that followed, the house became cold and silent. They hardly spoke. David tried to explain. He said it was a mistake, that he didn't mean to hurt her, that it just happened. But to Sara, it was not just a mistake. It was betrayal. She stopped smiling. She went to work quietly, came home quietly, and sat alone for hours. The laughter and warmth that once filled their home were gone. At night she lay awake, remembering their old days. The laughter, the little trips, the promises. Everything now felt fake. After a week of silence, Sara decided to visit her mother. She needed comfort, someone who could understand her pain. When she told her mother everything, her mother listened quietly and then said softly, "Sara, people make mistakes. You can let this mistake destroy you, or you can learn from it. Forgiveness is not for him. It's for your peace." Sara shook her head. "But he broke my trust." Her mother smiled sadly. "Yes, but holding pain will break you even more." Sara stayed there for 2 days. She cried, talked, and thought deeply about what her mother said. When she returned home, David was waiting for her. He looked tired, his eyes full of regret. "I know I don't deserve your forgiveness," he said quietly. "But I want to fix this. I'll do anything to make it right." Sara didn't answer. Her heart was still bleeding, but she saw something honest in his eyes. Guilt, fear, maybe love. She didn't know if she could forgive him, but she wanted to try to understand why it happened. That night they sat together for a long time. It was the first real conversation in weeks. They talked about how their relationship had changed, how both had stopped communicating, how they had taken each other for granted. David told her he had been feeling lonely, that he should have talked to her instead of running away to someone else. Sara listened in silence. She didn't excuse what he did, but for the first time, she realized that love doesn't break in a single moment. It fades slowly when people stop taking care of it. The road to healing was not easy. It took time, patience, and tears. Sara started focusing on herself. She went for walks, read books, and wrote her feelings in a diary. Some nights, she still cried, but slowly the pain became lighter. David tried his best to change. He stopped hiding his phone. He came home early. He wrote small notes for her. "I'm sorry. Thank you. I love you." Sometimes Sara ignored them, but sometimes she smiled quietly. One evening they went out for a walk. The sunset painted the sky with soft colors, orange and pink clouds moving slowly. David took her hand and said, "I know I hurt you deeply. I don't want to lose you. I'll spend my life proving that I can be better." Sara looked at him for a long time and said softly, "Don't prove anything. Just be honest." Months passed. The pain was still there, but not as sharp as before. Their relationship was slowly rebuilding. They were not the same people anymore. Both had changed. They had seen the worst side of love, and yet, they chose to try again. A year later, Sara felt stronger. She had forgiven David, but more than that, she had learned to love herself. Their marriage was not perfect, but it was real. There were no lies, no secrets, only two people trying to live honestly. Sara sometimes sat by the window with a cup of tea, watching the evening sky. She thought about the past, the pain, the betrayal, and the healing. It had all changed her. She knew that forgiveness didn't mean forgetting. It meant choosing peace instead of anger. When friends asked her how she could forgive such a thing, she would smile and say, "Because I didn't want to live with hate. I wanted to live with peace." Sara learned that love is not about perfection. It is about patience, understanding, and the courage to begin again after breaking apart. Life gave her pain, but it also gave her strength. And sometimes, strength comes only after you've been broken.